Hello everyone, this is Dominick with the Comic Book Report YouTube channel, doing a guest review for organicpricedbooks.com. And today I'm really excited to review a collection I just finished up recently. That is the Guardians of the Galaxy by Brian Michael Bendis Omnibus Volume 1 reprint. This impressive 1,152-page oversized hardcover collection has issues written by Brian Michael Bendis, with illustrations primarily provided by Mark Bagley, Steve McNiven, and Sarah Pichelli, amongst others. The issues in this volume were first published by Marvel Comics beginning back in 2012. The volume itself collects Avengers Assemble, issues 1 through 8, Guardians of the Galaxy, the Point 1 issue, and then issues 1 through 27, and the annual number 1, as well as Guardians of the Galaxy, Tomorrow's Avengers, issue 1, All New X-Men, issues 22 through 24, Free Comic Book Day 2014, Guardians of the Galaxy, issue 1, The Guardians Team Up, issues 1 and 2, and Guardians of Nowhere, issues 1 through 4. Suffice it to say, this is a nice, packed-out omnibus collection. As far as the dust jacket goes, this is the standard edition hardcover. There are also 2 direct market covers for this collection. I'll go ahead and throw up some quick little snippets so you can see what some of the other covers look like. That way you can do a quick comparison when you decide which collection is right for you. You should also know that I believe the spines are a little different as far as what character appears on the bottom, but I don't have that in this video. And now that we're done looking at each side of this book, I will do one final look at the entire dust jacket, including the interior flaps, before showing you the under the dust jacket hardcover artwork on this collection, which is a wraparound piece of art, which is something I love seeing on these modern omnibuses. I know some of the older books released by Marvel didn't always have these under the dust jacket kind of artwork prints, but I love that we've been seeing more and more of this. It's just a great added touch, and I personally love getting that bonus artwork. And now that we're done with that dust jacket, we can go ahead and look at that artwork I'm talking about. Again, a gorgeous wraparound print that showcases some of the great Guardians characters we have contained within this omnibus. Really love seeing this. I think right from the jump, getting the exteriors of this book, just taking a look at all of it, I was so eager to dive into this collection, and I was so happy I did. This was a spectacular run and something I had so much fun going through. I will say Bendis does have better, stronger Marvel series. My personal favorite is his run on Daredevil, but that being said, this is still a great Bendis series, and I think it's super accessible for those new and prospective readers. And before we dive into this collection itself, I did want to take a brief moment to take a look at that binding, and I'm happy to report that it's a nice sewn binding for this oversized glossy print paper. And other than a couple moments where there is some gutter loss and I had to maybe push the pages open a little bit more to read some of the bubbles, there really is no complaints from me. I think a little bit of gutter loss is to be expected with these releases, and I think it was really nicely done. Jumping into the collection itself, we have some nice kind of front matter, some title pages. We don't have a table of contents proper, but we do have a nice layout of sort of the bibliography in this collection. It's kind of the mapping. It gives you an idea of what we're looking at for the collection before jumping into the books themselves. I think one surprising thing for those that maybe aren't aware of this run as much is that this book actually starts with an 8-part Avengers series called Avengers Assemble. This mini-series is essentially a Avengers versus Thanos story that the Guardians of the Galaxy get involved in. It's a great 8-part series that really sets up the status quo for this run on Guardians, and I think that it's really, really fun for fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU, as the Avengers they pick are the main 6 from the Avengers movie, and the Guardians team we have in this book is really the roster we have in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, with a couple notable additions throughout the run. I almost feel like this entire run was designed to be palatable and easy to digest for new readers who wanted to try out Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe with the popularity of the movie, because there are a lot of similarities with the characters in the movie and the characters depicted in this comic book series. I also think that this is a great way if you want to get into cosmic Marvel but want to start a little bit lighter. I think if you want to go for the deep end, I'd recommend jumping on the Annihilation Omnibus, but if you're looking to get into cosmic Marvel but want maybe a little bit of a lighter touch, a more just fun and easy to read kind of book, I think that this is a great way to jump in. I will admit as well, I have not read any other Guardians of the Galaxy solo titles beyond this Bendis run. This is my first foray into those comics. I have read when Guardians have showed up in other crossovers, events, books throughout the years, but this is my first Guardians of the Galaxy book, and I think that that should be said in this review because there might be some long legacy Guardians of the Galaxy fans that might have a much different read on this book than I do. I can only review it from my perspective and from the perspective of a newer Guardians reader, which some of you might be. I should say that some of the feedback I've heard from more seasoned Guardians of the Galaxy's readers when they think about the Bendis run is that they changed some of the characterizations to maybe appeal more to those fans of the movies. I get how that could be frustrating if that's true, if you've come to know and love these characters as they were depicted prior to the movie and maybe seeing what they did to them and then put them in this run. Again, I don't know if this is true, but that's some feedback I've heard. I think no matter what, this is a very fun and pleasurable read. There are a lot of great character moments here. Having an ensemble cast or team like this is very, very fun. The group is absolutely eclectic, and there's a lot of humor to be had in some of their dynamics and conflicts. I will say as well, there were a couple surprising characters in this run that joined the Guardians team, but I really don't want to spoil them for you, as new readers might enjoy their appearances when they first show up. As far as storylines go, again, we start with that first 8-issue Avengers series, and we end the book with the Guardians of Nowhere, which I believe is the tie-in to the Jonathan Hickman Secret War event and era. So those are kind of your bookends with this collection. In the midst of that, we have a couple of crossovers, one with the all-new X-Men, and another as part of the Black Vortex event. Everything else is basically just the Guardians of the Galaxy comic and all of their fun spacefaring adventures. For those two crossovers, I will say everything for that all-new X-Men crossover is included in this book. That all-new X-Men run was also written by Bendis, so having all of the issues for that crossover was really fun to have. You get a full storyline, and you get to see the Guardians interact with this younger version of the X-Men 5, and I liked seeing that. On the other end, though, the Black Vortex special toward the end of the collection, maybe 3/4 of the way through or so, that collection actually doesn't have every issue of that event. We actually only have the Guardians of the Galaxy issues, which I thought was a bit of a misstep. I know that this collection is already big, but I think including a couple of those issues to have the full Black Vortex event would have made this omnibus much more of a standout. Instead, we basically are treated to the couple of Guardians issues that deal with the Black Vortex event, and they have like a little paragraph blurb that fills you in on the exposition and the storyline of what has happened in the missing issues. So with that in mind and with the issues we get, you can get a sense of the whole Black Vortex story, but I think it's really a shame because of the two crossovers in this collection, I actually think Black Vortex is much more of a Guardians of the Galaxy-centric story versus the all-new X-Men crossover felt like more of an X-Men story. So I am a bit baffled at the inclusion of some issues but not the others. But that was just something I wanted to note. Like I said, with those blurbs, you still get a full sense of the storyline, which I did appreciate, and you do have all the Guardians issues, which is nice in a Guardians of the Galaxy omnibus. Some notable antagonists throughout this run are, of course, the Mad Titan Thanos, and of course Peter Quill's dad, Jason, the King of Spartax. I think having those two antagonists were really some of the big deal issues and story arcs that are collected during the Guardians run itself, but outside of the couple story arcs involving those characters, we still had a few that were just sort of either one-offs or quick couple issue little jaunts throughout space. And I really liked it. I think that there was a lot of variety in this omnibus as well. We have a couple different artists throughout it that kind of change hands. There's some art styles that I would really associate with this run, and some that are really one-off for a few issues that have maybe dramatically different stylization or artwork styles. And I think overall it lends to that sense of variety. I feel like I get a real bang for my buck because I get to dabble in a couple of different kinds of storytelling and artwork and different things like that. And I think, again, it's a perfect read for someone who wants to break into Cosmic Marvel, but doesn't want to go straight for like the big cosmic events like Annihilation. I do think that this is absolutely new reader friendly, and I wonder how many returning Guardians of the Galaxy fans enjoyed this run. If that's you, let me know in the comments. I'd again love your feedback just to get perspective on that. As far as the book goes, though, this is a big boy, and as far as all the issues go, everything seemed reprinted absolutely beautifully. No complaints from me. I had so much fun revisiting some of the early issues and reading some of the others that I actually got to read for the first time reading this omnibus. Such a blast, and my hope after seeing this reprint is that maybe, just maybe, Marvel will go ahead and order in a volume 2 for this run, as I would sincerely like to continue this read. A lot of great cover art and variant cover art and sketch work at the back and the extras, and that really rounds out the Guardians of the Galaxy Bendis Omnibus Volume 1. If you want your copy, head over to Organic Price Books, and for more reviews from me, Dominick, check out my channel, The Comic Book Report. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, have a good one.